We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot.
Only way they could get their money back was however their money back. He said, but Lil Cam Wolf and Big Caprice are the three. I'm up, I got the next, and they passed the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they shooting against the motherfuckers in town.
Man, Lord.
You supposed to be mad.
Boosie just dropped a bomb. He's finally calling out J. Prince Jr. by name, and it's all about the deadly setup involving Duke the Jeweler. Now J. Prince Sr. is clapping back hard. For years, people were whispering that Boosie lined Duke up, setting him up to get taken out. But Boosie's done with the silence. He's pointing fingers straight at mob ties.
We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot.
Boosie's calling it what it is, a setup.
And guess what? The streets are buzzing, the feds are sniffing around, and the timeline ain't adding up. So what really went down that night, and why is J. Prince Sr. coming out swinging? Let's rewind to November 2022. That's when 29-year-old Duke the Jeweler got gunned down in what was labeled a robbery, just hours after showing up at Boosie's concert in Houston, Texas. That alone had folks talking, but then rumors exploded. People were saying Boosie wasn't just a bystander. Some even claimed he ordered the hit, or at least knew who did. The wildest part, word on the street was the two dudes who ran up on Duke weren't random at all. They were allegedly connected to Boosie, not friends, but family. That narrative stuck for months, and while Boosie kept his lips sealed, the internet was cooking up every kind of theory imaginable.
He was walking to his car or something, some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. I had just met dude yesterday. We was in a garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in a garage. We heard this.
But now, things are shifting. The heat is turning away from Boosie and straight toward J. Prince Jr. The son of Houston's so-called hip-hop godfather has been lurking in the shadows, playing the quiet role. But people are starting to notice the pieces don't fit. All this time, Boosie might have been the perfect scapegoat, the fall guy. Meanwhile, the real mastermind, cool, clean, and hidden in plain sight, but now that mask is slipping. Too many details look planted, too many moves feel scripted, and Boosie's not taking the blame anymore, not for something he says he didn't do. So now the big question is, who really pulled those strings that night, and why is J. Prince Sr. scrambling to defend the family name now? Something's not adding up.
If you think about him, here's a clown. Like, I love the hip-hop culture. I'm in love with the hip-hop culture. Blood, sweat, and tears went in my movement for the hip-hop culture.
And it looks like the truth is finally cracking through. Why is Boosie speaking out now? Because he was there that night, he performed at the concert, allegedly invited Duke the Jeweler, and rumors started flying that Duke's Louis Vuitton bag magically ended up inside Boosie's house. But let's be real, none of that proves he had a motive. It just shows he was close by, not in on it. And that's exactly what made him the perfect scapegoat. Think about it. The fall guy is always the one already dealing with drama. And Boosie, man, he had a whole list of legal problems. Gun charges, the Terry Boyd case, court fights from way back that folks still bring up. People already had their minds made up about him. All it took was one wild story, and boom, the blame landed right on his back. But now, Boosie's breaking his silence. And he's not holding back anymore. He's calling out J. Prince Jr. by name, saying, y'all tried to line me up. Boosie says he didn't even know Duke like that. They only met at a dice game. Then just one day later, Duke pops up at Boosie's concert solo. And a few hours after that, he's found dead in a parking lot robbery. Something's definitely off. Boosie's calling it exactly what it feels like, a setup. And people are finally paying attention. Duke didn't get hit in Baton Rouge, Boosie's turf. He got gunned down in Houston. A city Boosie don't run, but you know who does run it?
Any real dude that's ever really been in LA, he checked in. Any real dude that's ever been in Atlanta, he checked in. If you moving and you getting money, you gonna check in because you need to know the right places to be and places not to be. That's a businessman.
Jay
But
Prince
word-
Jr. And now even folks from Houston are chiming in. One user posted, "If you from H-Town, you know what happened. Boosie had nothing to do with it." Another said it plain and simple. "Why would Boosie set up a robbery in a city he's not from? That would be bold and dumb. The streets are talking and the math ain't mathin'. Boosie's out here trying to clear his name, and the deeper you look, the shadier this whole thing gets." One user came hard for Jay Prince Jr., saying straight up, "Boosie didn't have nothing to do with Duke's death. Y'all need to start looking at Jay Prince Jr." And guess what? They're not wrong, because sitting right there at that dice table, it wasn't just Boosie. Jay Prince Jr. was there too. This the same dude who's been running Houston's check-in culture like a street CEO. Word is, if you're a rapper, artist, influencer, whatever, you can't pull up in H-Town without tapping in with the Prince family. And even if you do, you still ain't safe. That's where it gets real dirty.
I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do. Check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Wow.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back?
Duke the Jeweler did what he was supposed to. He checked in, he followed the rules, and still, he got smoked. That ain't just shady, that's straight predatory. See, this check-in game ain't about protecting people. It's about power, it's about control. Just look at Takeoff. He checked in too, still ended up lined up at that bowling alley. Same energy. This whole system feels like a trap. Out west, folks been saying Big U was doing the same, making rappers check in or else. And guess what happened to cats like PNB Rock? Allegedly checked in, still got lined up. Even Schoolboy Q called it out. He said rappers are basically getting robbed by the same dudes they're checking in with. That ain't protection. That's extortion with a smile. So when you really look at Duke's case, man, it's been screaming sus from the beginning. That dice game, it wasn't just sketchy, it was deadly.
Man, Lord. You supposed to be mad.
Sources say he cleaned house that night, ran up $100K on the table, and that win might have sealed his fate.
And Boosie, he was never the one in charge, he was just the bait. Then things really went off the rails when Wack 100 jumped in. Loud, raw, and not sugarcoating anything. He said it clear. That dice game was a setup. According to Wack, Duke wasn't robbed, he was straight lined up, and the people behind it, Wack says it was Jay Prince Jr.'s own crew. He dropped names too, said Lil Cam, and that tight little circle were running the dice table like a hustle where the house always wins unless someone slips.
That a certain jeweler round and got past the dice on accident and was hitting all them for a couple hundred because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however their money back. Lil Cam Wolf and Big Caprice are the three designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they pass the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they shooting against them up whoever's in town.
And Duke, he wasn't supposed to win that night. This wasn't about money. It was about sending a message, and someone wanted him gone. That night, Duke walked straight into the trap. No clue it was already set for him. Wack 100 laid it all out. Duke started winning big at that dice game, hitting on rolls he wasn't supposed to touch, and that's when the whole setup crumbled. See, when you disrupt a rigged system built on ego, money, and street power, somebody always ends up paying the price. And for Duke, that price was his life. According to Wack, this wasn't some random street hit. He says Jay Prince been playing puppet master for decades, selling himself as the protector of Houston, all while pulling strings behind the curtain.
As Jay Prince, over the years, the decades of doing whatever he's doing, he's been having a way of brainwashing people.
Oh, yeah?
To thinking he's doing one thing when he really up to a next.
But now, that curtain's falling down, and Wack wasn't the only one calling it out. Charleston White jumped into the mix too, and he was fired up. He said Duke's death hit hard, not just because Duke had talent, but because it could have been completely prevented. Charleston laid blame on mob ties, accusing them of creating a whole vibe in Houston that ain't just shady, it's flat out deadly. Artists come in thinking check-in means safety, but according to Charleston, it's a trap, a loaded situation where outsiders get pulled into dangerous circles full of sharks. He said Duke didn't die out of disrespect. He got played, got used, and got caught up because he trusted the wrong crew. It wasn't beef, it was naivety. And Charleston didn't hold back. He called the industry fake and fear-driven, saying the check-in culture is just extortion in a suit. Ain't no loyalty, just survival. Most rappers too scared to even whisper the truth, he said. But this time, that silence is cracking wide open. Charleston even went as far as saying Duke's death felt ritualistic, not random, like a message was being sent.
These industry, these street homie, that's projecting these rules and then coming here playing like they admirable men with street rules and street exit. Nah, homie, them little was set up that night.
Then it got even messier. 50 Cent stepped in too. He didn't say a lot, but what he did post had people squinting. Cryptic clips, strange captions, and just enough to make fans feel like he was siding with Boosie without actually saying it. The whole vibe felt like a silent warning shot. But what really blew the lid off? The Finesse 2 times situation. Word on the street is that J. Prince Jr. allegedly got Finesse's girl pregnant behind his back, and Finesse didn't take that lightly. He went loud with it too, making it clear he wasn't rocking with mob ties no more. And guess what J. Prince Jr. did? Absolutely nothing. No denial, no response, just silence. And in this game, silence speaks louder than any post. Fans took that as guilt straight up. Finesse used to praise mob ties. Now he won't even say their name. He's completely ghosted them. No more shout outs, no more loyalty, just cold vibes and broken ties. The loyalty, dead. Now fans are connecting the dots. Takeoff's murder, Boosie's public call out, Finesse's fallout. And one name keeps popping up in every single scandal, J. Prince Jr. Something's definitely off. And the streets are finally waking up to the game that's been playing them all along. The internet is going crazy, and the silence, yeah, it's starting to crack wide open. That fear-based empire folks whispered about for years, it's looking like it's finally collapsing. People online aren't holding back anymore. One user posted, J. Prince been setting folks up for years and getting people knocked off. Another said it flat out, J. Prince took Duke out, not Boosie. See, Duke the Jeweler wasn't just some flashy dude rocking diamonds. He was a self-made king straight out of Chicago. No industry hookups, no shady cosigns, just grit, hustle, and pure talent. He started from the bottom in the early 2000s, sketching designs in a cramped studio, flipping scraps into masterpieces. Before long, his one-of-one creations were hitting Vogue, Elle, and getting worn by legends. Rihanna, King Von, 50 Cent, and even Boosie rocked his pieces. But Duke's jewelry wasn't just about the bling, it was about legacy. And that's exactly why he became a target. In an industry built on control, someone climbing up independent and fearless. That's the kind of guy that makes powerful people uncomfortable. Duke didn't just end up in the wrong place. He stepped into a lion's den draped in gold, trusted the wrong faces, dapped up the wrong hands, and walked into a room he never should have been in. That room, a high-stakes dice game hosted by none other than J. Prince Jr. According to multiple sources, Duke was on fire that night. Word is he cleaned house, walked away with around $100,000 in wins at the table, and that might have been what sealed his fate. Just hours later, he was robbed, stripped of his ice, his cash, and his phone, and then shot not once but multiple times, like somebody wanted to make sure he didn't walk away alive. This wasn't no random robbery, it was surgical, intentional, and Duke's death hit the streets hard, real hard, because this time it wasn't just about rap beef or street drama, it was about a man who built something real and still got taken out. The industry still ain't healed from it. Duke's loss hit different, and people are finally starting to question why someone like him, with no beef, no dirt, and no scandal, ended up gunned down after a dice game he was winning. And all eyes, they're landing on J. Prince Jr. again. This wasn't just some random robbery. It looked like a hit, a cold, calculated execution. Duke's death didn't feel like an accident. It felt personal, like somebody wanted him gone. Now Boosie's fighting to clear his name, telling the world he had nothing to do with it. When that footage dropped showing Boosie's reaction to Duke's death, man looked heartbroken, silent, shaken. He couldn't even find the words, like he was truly caught off guard. And maybe, just maybe, he really was. But now things are getting even messier. J. Prince Sr. is clapping back, firing shots at Boosie. Meanwhile, Boosie's flipping the script, saying it's J. Prince who's been setting people up behind the scenes. The streets, they're paying close attention because don't forget, Takeoff got taken out in that same city. The coroner report said he was shot multiple times in the head and torso. And now J. Prince Sr. is going at Wack 100 for backing Boosie, calling him loud, calling him a clown. But the streets are saying, nah, he's just trying to dodge the real heat. And let's be real, when folks start bringing up hip-hop culture and throwing out distractions, you know they're trying to pull focus off the truth. Because this ain't just about Boosie or Duke the Jeweler anymore. This is about a whole system built on fear, silence, and fake protection. It's about artists being forced to check in with street crews just to move through a city they don't even run. Dudes like Duke, who started from scratch, who built a name through hard work, grind, and talent, still weren't safe. He earned his seat at the table, but it didn't matter. Because when power feels threatened, the rules go out the window. Duke's death left a hole in the jewelry game, no doubt, but it also exposed the cracks in this fake protection system. Boosie says he was just the bait. Finesse 2 times disappeared from mob ties after his own messy situation. Takeoff checked in and still got killed. And now, J. Prince Sr. is scrambling, trying to protect an image that's falling apart by the day. But if this is just the beginning, who's gonna speak up next? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this just street politics or something deeper? Tap that like, hit that subscribe button, and drop your thoughts down below. Stay locked in. This story ain't over yet. See you in the next one.